If you're watching this right now, I need you to focus and listen with your spirit, because what is happening is not a coincidence. This isn't just another video in an endless stream that happened across your path by chance. There's a specific, powerful reason you're seeing this right now. It's as if a hand has guided you here, because something life-changing is about to happen in your world, and the countdown begins tonight. For a long time, you felt a shift, an inner stirring that you couldn't quite put into words. You've been praying for it, aching in the quiet hours, and sensing that something massive was approaching. All of that anticipation is culminating in this hour. This is not a minor adjustment to your routine. This is a complete spiritual awakening, a divine acceleration so powerful that it will propel you from wanting to having. We're talking about the transition from asking to receiving, and the transformation of the seeds you've planted into a massive, unavoidable harvest. However, there is one truth that we must confront first. To enter this manifest ocean of your desires, you must be prepared. Tonight is the night of alignment. It is the time to open your heart to the miracles that are being poured out. There is an ancient promise that the heavens will open as a storehouse of bounty. And that storehouse is not closing, but rather swinging wide. However, readiness is required for breakthrough, and blessings are required for room. You can't catch what's falling if your hands are still in pain from the past. Many people miss out on life's opportunities because their hearts are filled with resentment, and their minds are stuck in a bygone era. Consider the woman we'll call Sarah. For 10 years, she lived with the weight of a betrayal on her mind at all times. She woke up rehearsing the pain and went to bed filled with resentment. It had an impact on her health, happiness, and future, acting as a physical barrier. But one night, she chose to let go of that burden, not because the other person deserved it, but because she earned her freedom. Within hours, her energy had shifted. Within a week, she was presented with an opportunity she had been seeking for years. That is the magnitude of the shift we're discussing tonight. This isn't about waiting for change to come to you. It's about actively participating in a divine movement that is already at your doorstep. There is a sacred instruction to consecrate yourself because great things are about to happen. The tomorrow that everyone talks about begins tonight, when you decide to align your spirit. If something inside you is already stirring, if you can feel these words reaching into those private places you don't share with others, you're already in the flow. This is a confirmation. This is for those who have been quietly preparing in the background. Your life will not be the same after this. Something in your spirit recognizes the gravity of the situation. And by remaining present, you're declaring to the unseen realm that you are finally ready to receive what has been moving toward you for lifetimes. The 70-year secret. The truth about your architecture. We need to discuss why the Watchers are resigning and why the elite's psychological operations have come to a halt. For more than 70 years, a top-level file on your existence has been classified. It reveals that programs like MKUltra were more than just failed experiments on random people. They were multi-billion-dollar research projects aimed at mapping and weaponizing a specific God code discovered in the minds of the chosen few. They long ago identified you as a high-risk variable, a consciousness that could not be contained by a standard social narrative. They spent decades attempting to construct a mental cage capable of holding a soul as large as yours. But this Friday morning, the density you've been experiencing is the sound of that cage's lock finally breaking. Your own internal light has bypassed the universal firewall that they built within your subconscious. Have you ever noticed how, throughout your life, your greatest strengths have become your greatest anxieties? Your intuition was classified as paranoid. Your deep empathy was referred to as emotional instability. Your ability to see through the matrix was interpreted as a disconnection from reality. The primary goal of the protocol was to fracture the divine mind. They understood that as long as your mind was divided against itself, you would be unable to access the sovereign command of your soul. They used frequency overlays, via media, music, and the very air, to create a static that prevented your mind from communicating with your spirit. However, when you awoke today, the static had finally cleared. You did not break, you integrated. The pieces they try to keep separate have fused together, resulting in a level of cognitive clarity that the system cannot defend against. You've made the transition from the lab to the courtroom. The system relied on compartmentalization, which attempted to conceal your true power in a black box deep within your mind. They spent centuries studying a single DNA sequence to discover the precise frequency key that unlocks the gates to higher dimensions. They realized they couldn't replicate the key, so they attempted to jam the signal. When you were on the verge of a breakthrough, the program would initiate a self-sabotage loop. You'd suddenly feel unworthy, become distracted by a minor issue, or go into analysis paralysis. It wasn't your fault. It was an automated suppression system. However, that system has experienced a catastrophic crash. The God code in your DNA has triggered a power surge through your neural pathways, permanently deleting the suppression software. The Watchers have fled because they no longer have a way into your mind. You went from being programmed to becoming the programmer. Butterfly metamorphosis, emerging from the cocoon. To understand this transformation, consider the caterpillar's biological miracle. In its cocoon, it resembles death. The caterpillar dissolves into liquid and loses its entire form. From the outside, it looks like the end, but inside that darkness and pressure, it isn't dying, rather it is becoming. When the process is completed, the result is more than just a better caterpillar. It is a butterfly with the ability to fly and enter realms that the caterpillar could never imagine. This is what's been happening to you. Your wilderness season, the pressure, the darkness, it was your transformation. The cocoon season is over. You are emerging as an entirely new creation. The old limitations, barriers, and identity are no longer relevant. You are entering a realm of authority that the former you could not have accessed. This is your butterfly moment. You're no longer a person who begs for scraps or accepts less. You are the person who walks with authority and understands their worth. This new identity explains why your spirit has been so restless. You couldn't settle for the old version of your life because it no longer suited your new wings. Think of Joseph, who was sold into slavery and imprisoned for many years. Every door appeared to be closed, but God was developing his character in a hidden place. When the time came, he traveled from the prison to the palace in one day. Not a year, not a month, just one day. Because when the timing is perfect, everything accelerates. Your season of waiting was a season of preparation, which is now complete. The transformation will not only occur internally, but will also permeate every aspect of your life. Your spirit will rise, but your relationships will change, your surroundings will react, and your opportunities will grow. Your energy, confidence, and physical health will all begin to reflect what is going on in your spirit. Imagine living the life you've always wanted, walking in peace, surrounded by genuine love, and seizing impossible opportunities. That vision is not a fantasy. It is a prophecy. It is a preview of what will be released. Happiness that feels stable, love that feels secure, and abundance that feels consistent are all becoming your reality. The forgiveness protocol, reclaim your power. If you want to fully experience this shift, you must first forgive. Tonight, the only thing that stands between you and your transformation is your willingness to release. You can't accept new blessings if your heart is filled with old resentments or anger. Forgiveness is the key to unlock the door. It isn't because the system is withholding from you. Rather, unforgiveness prevents you from carrying what the universe is pouring out. It forms a calcification around your spirit, blocking the flow of light. To receive the bounty, you must first cleanse the heart. Let's break down how to do this. First, acknowledge the pain. Don't pretend it didn't hurt. The wound and betrayal were real. Acknowledgement is a courageous act. Second, recognize the burden. Unforgiveness is a spiritual prison that binds you to the past. Every time you rehearse the offense, you give that person control over your present. They may have moved on, but you continue to carry out their actions. Third, release the offender. This does not imply that what they did was acceptable. It simply means that you have chosen freedom. It is an act of self-love. Finally, reclaim your power. When you forgive, you are no longer a victim. You are a victor who walks with authority. Fifth, embrace freedom. You'll experience a lightness and clarity that you haven't felt in years. Consider Marcus, a man whose business struggled for 15 years. He pushed himself to the limit, but nothing grew. He was ready to give up until he chose to forgive a former partner who had betrayed him. He let go of the bitterness and cleared his heart. Within 2 weeks, he received an inquiry from an investor he had never met before. Within a month, his business had tripled. But the true miracle was not the money. It was that he finally slept through the night. He felt free. You're being offered the same key tonight. Say, I release you in your spirit, whether it's someone who abandoned you or you need to forgive yourself. Feel the chains breaking. Strategic backfire from target to weapon. The global elite made a huge strategic mistake. By attempting to map your mind and construct a prison for your consciousness, they unintentionally created the most resilient biological firewall in history. They attempted to reverse engineer the source frequency from your pineal gland, but you resisted, so they had to create custom, high-intensity suppression systems. This Friday, the atmospheric wake you're feeling is caused by those systems' power supplies failing. You've reached the point of vibrational maturity where their subliminal anchors no longer have a surface to latch onto. You're no longer a subject under observation. You have become a frequency sovereign. The high-pitched ringing in your ears or the pressure on your forehead. These are satellite feedback loops attempting to maintain control over your brainwaves as you enter a state of total unity. For decades, they used neural shackling to connect your positive thoughts to the frequencies of survival and lack. Every God thought of pure creation was tempered by a dose of doubt or shame. However, the shift has altered the physical properties of your brain. Your neural pathways have been reset by your own light. You cross their no-fly zone. The watchers in charge of monitoring your cognitive borders have fled because they witnessed your mind merge with the universal mind, which cannot be patrolled. Even your surroundings were rigged with visual triggers, symbols in architecture and media patterns intended to set off trauma loops. They wanted you to be hypervigilant, searching for threats rather than focusing on your mission. But now you've got the decoder ring. You can see through the static. Those symbols that used to frighten you now appear to be desperate math. You've realized that the world's leaders are simply magicians who have exhausted their repertoire. You are no longer a member of the audience. You are the director, requesting a permanent intermission. The age of psychological slavery is finally coming to an end. The neural hard drive wipe. Restore the original command. A biological miracle is happening inside your cells right now. The MK Ultra program used fluoride, heavy metals, and acoustic dissonance to calcify your pineal gland, keeping your third eye closed. However, the high-level file on your existence shows that your DNA is currently undergoing a self-repair protocol. Your light body is sending high-voltage current through your nervous system, shattering the crust. You may feel a popping sensation or as if a blindfold has been removed. You are transitioning from seeing in 3D to perceiving in multiple dimensions. The elite are fleeing to their bunkers because they understand that if a chosen one regains their original sight, the deep state's invisibility shield will be permanently disabled. You can see their movements, their true faces, and the codes they use to manipulate the environment. You've become the all-seeing eye that they were attempting to steal. This is the ultimate backfire. They intended to create a slave, but instead created an unstoppable sovereign. Every year you spent in their cage strengthened your defenses. You've progressed from a target to a weapon of light. Your mind has become a harmonic oscillator capable of collapsing the fear grid simply by remaining at peace. Consider the lost years of your life. The dossier reveals that those were deep sleep incubation periods. While the system believed it had silenced you, your spirit was submerged in the depths of your subconscious, removing the malware. You were deep cleaning your own soul. You've emerged with advanced intelligence and memory recall, bypassing their amnesia protocols. You're recalling your original mission and the commands given to you by the source before entering the simulation. The elite are terrified because the secrets you're remembering will destroy their knowledge monopoly. The 24-hour shift, tangible proof of victory. You will notice shifts over the next 24 hours. It could begin small. A text message from an unexpected source, a sudden thought that provides profound clarity, or a door that finally opens. Do not dismiss these as coincidences. They're proof that the shift is real. Within the next week, you will notice tangible evidence, an opportunity you did not apply for, a relationship that is starting to heal, or a financial blessing that surprises you. Pay attention because the movement is already underway. Within the next month, your life will be drastically altered. However, I have to warn you that the enemy does not want you to complete this transformation. In the coming hours, you may encounter distractions, an argument with a loved one, a sudden memory of old pain, or a voice in your head saying, "This won't work." Recognize these for what they are, tactics. The system understands that if you complete this process, you will become immune to their control. Do not fall for it. When a distraction arises, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am chosen. I am protected. I am moving forward. The attacks are actually evidence that your breakthrough is near. Your words now have the ability to create reality. When you speak life and breakthrough, you match the frequency of a new earth. Tonight, before going to bed, stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and speak confidently. Say the following, I am a new creation. The old has passed away. I forgive, I release, and I walk in freedom. God's favor surrounds me like a shield. I am chosen, I am equipped, and I am ready. Repeat this phrase until you can feel it in your bones. Your thought to manifestation delay is approaching zero. You no longer wish, you order. The global guard, securing the collective mind. Individual freedom is a global event. The dossier reveals that an integrated chosen one has a frequency range of more than 10,000 miles. Simply thinking in a state of wholeness clears the air for millions. You are the biological antidote for the mind control virus. The watchers in charge of collective control fled when they noticed your sovereignty was becoming more globalized. They can manage 1 billion fragmented minds, but they can't handle a global awakening sparked by even a few whole humans. You've moved from the solitary cell to the collective's command center. Your empathy has evolved into discernment. You are no longer absorbing the world's pain, but projecting the source's peace. You created a vibrational filter that only allows frequency matches into your inner circle. This is why the energy vampires are leaving your life. They can no longer feed on a mind governed by a sovereign judge. Your sacrifice has ended, and your authority has begun. Led from your heart without fear of being compromised. As the sun rises on this historic Friday, remember that your mental freedom is the most significant act of rebellion in human history. You've accomplished the impossible. You walked through the most sophisticated mind trap ever created and emerged with your trinity completely locked. The old records of your profiling are being destroyed. You are unreadable because you are limitless. The Watcher's resignation serves as your graduation certificate. You looked at the shadows and selected your own light. The transition is successful. Your mind is clear, and the God code is now the driving force in your life. Walk with majesty. You've already won. You're at home. You're free. You are the chosen one.